Welcome to this edition of the First Aid Show. We're up here in Birmingham in the NEC. We had one of our instructor updates. So what we're doing is have a little chat with Martin here, Martin Barry. He runs a first aid training company, and we're going to have a little chat about how first aid training can kick in very easily. So what we're looking with in first aid is to pre-program someone that if an emergency happens, then they're going to be ready to deal with it. So that any of you watching, if you have got basic first aid training, then you'll find that the training you have is applied and it is programmed into your head when you need it. Hi there, Martin.
Hi, Keith.
Right. You tell just briefly a little bit about yourself, your first aid instructor.
Yeah, been a first aid instructor for probably about 3 years now. Thoroughly enjoy it, fantastic job. You get to speak to all sorts of people and give them the skill for life.
And we're all involved in programming people. I know you did your course with programming people this side, and really we're looking at, we've discussed earlier on, I know about a particular instance where you've trained somebody and this person maybe has got the real confidence to deal with a serious emergency condition. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Did a company training. There was 8 people on there. It was the 3-day first aid at work. Lady didn't really stand out during the 3 days. She was mid-50s, passed the course, took away the knowledge. Got a lovely testimonial 2 weeks after where she said that she'd been up to the Lake District in a holiday cottage with her elderly parents. On this particular occasion, she heard a crashing sound coming from the kitchen, walked in, found her dad on the floor, unresponsive, not breathing, obviously suffered a cardiac arrest. The Lake District, now the location I was in, was fairly remote. What she states is that her training kicked in, she did the CPR, the rescue breaths, everything she'd been taught on the course. First aiders are taught this, and this is what we try to program them to, so they don't actually have to think. It's second nature. And this is what this lady says. The paramedics turned up. Actually, now her dad's still alive. Now they managed to shock him with a defibrillator. So her CPR was as effective enough now to give her dad the very best chance. So fantastic letter. She's forever indebted, as is her father.
It's quite easy, I think, when you actually train somebody and you get these notes. It's nice to hear this feedback back.
Absolutely.
And also we're asking, I know you've done work, community first responder groups and things like this in the past, and dealing with real CPR, because a lot of what we're doing is teaching the theory of CPR in the hope that no one ever has to use it. But when it does kick in, and I know we're talking now this little story you said, you just tell us a bit more about where you've actually had to do CPR for real and what it really felt like and what sort of emotions you went through during and also what you felt about afterwards.
Yeah, again, it's all being conditioned. It's practicing and being ready. Expect the unexpected. On a particular occasion, turned up at quite a major supermarket, spoke to the store first aider, who states that a gentleman leaving the store had suffered some form of seizure. He had dropped to the floor, convulsed. First aider had checked him over, stated his breathing wasn't particularly good, it was fairly noisy, and first aider turned him into the recovery position. Upon my arrival, looked at the gentleman concerned. He was purple from the neck up, obvious no signs of respiration. Again, gentleman had suffered a cardiac arrest. First aider had not recognised agonal breathing whatsoever, put him into the recovery position and walked away and left him, so not even monitoring. So got straight on with the job, started CPR, rescue breaths, had my defibrillator with me. After the second shock, now we've got spontaneous outcome. Ambulance turned up, he was conveyed to hospital, straight into resus, and again that gentleman lived. Now he's still around today, and I've actually met that gentleman since. Again, fantastic feeling. I actually went into the store afterwards because I had to collect the equipment I'd left. I spoke to the duty manager, gave him one of the business cards and said, if you want to come and do some first aid training, by all means, I'm nice and local. And it was stated, well, all our first aiders only had their updates 2 weeks ago. They've only just requalified 2 weeks ago. So not all first aid training is to the standard that we'd like to with pro training. So being able to put RealLife Experience and the quality of training that we deliver gives us more successful outcomes, I'd have thought.
And just when you're actually physically doing CPR, a lot of people worry about how will they cope. And I know it's a male thing, we don't like admitting that it gets a bit upsetting, but when you've actually done CPR and maybe has or has not been successful, you know, is that upsetting? Is it something that's hard to take?
Personally, I'm fairly detached, treat it very professionally. Now, I'll give you another quick instance. I was with my son, who was 16 at the time, and we went to a cardiac arrest at his school. He was actually there at the time. Now, he was doing CPR on the member of staff. Managed to, again, shock this gentleman, and we got him back on the first shock. Now, we followed the ambulance to the hospital. My son was still sitting in the car when I came out of resus. He'd gone a really funny shade of white. Shock had kicked in. He's practiced CPR, and again, from talking to him afterwards, now the reality of doing it on a real person compared to a mannequin, he said he detached. Now, it was the same, and it's the after effects. Now, did I do everything properly? On this occasion, it was a successful outcome. So people need to be prepared that they can only give the people that they're treating the best chance. Doesn't guarantee everything, but without the training, you're going to leave somebody with no chance whatsoever.
Well, thank you very much. And just finally, if you need training, obviously we're biased in the company we've got, but first aid training is really, really important. You can always find a local instructor on www.procourses.co.uk, or get in touch, or you can email me direct at keith@protrainings.eu, and we'll come up with the course local to you. Thank you very much.